Well, hey everybody, welcome to EDT 523. My name is Bill Selleck. I am your instructor. I am also Director of Technology at Hillbrook School up in Los Gatos, San Jose, Silicon Valley area. So I'm going to walk around a little bit, give you a tour. I've been sitting a lot, but also I think it's a good analogy for what this course is about. I like to think about it being on the dance floor and in the balcony, where you're kind of down in the weeds and way up at the 30,000 foot view. We do a lot of that. We do like, you know, in week 2 and 3, we talk about understanding by design, UBD, and Grant Wiggins has a really cool video with that. And then you get into really the details and the nitty gritty of 4 different LMSs. But it kind of misses parts, and that's what we'll fill in with some of the video, and that's totally by design. So I think that this art classroom is a really cool place to start. Ken is our teacher in here, so every one of our classes has a TV, Apple TV underneath it, so we can AirPlay. Anyone in here can AirPlay anything. Right now, I'm actually laser etching some glassware. See that going? How cool is that? The answer is very, and that's why I happen to be in this art room. So it ends up looking like that when we are done. There's our school logo, and that's actually my daughter's kindergarten teacher. We have 3 kids. Our oldest is in kindergarten, so that's really funny that I just etched a glass for my daughter's kindergarten teacher. But also, she's been here 5 years, so she gets a glass. But one thing you'll notice in that space is that at Hillbrook, we put student choice and engagement at the center of everything we do. And I think that's so important to keep in mind as we talk about LMSs, as we talk about UBD, and just kind of the bigger kind of theory stuff you talk about in a master's class, and also the details you'll get in these master's classes, is the why we do it and what the focus of that should be. So too often I think we get caught up in kind of the details or like the super big educational theory, but just remembering that students are the center of everything we're doing. This is why we're doing it. This is why we're hanging out, why you're watching a video of me, why you're getting your master's. Also probably the pay bump is another reason. So yeah, let's talk about the course a little bit. It's actually really straightforward. It's the simplest layout of any of the courses I've taught. I think this is my 5th Concordia course that I've taught. I've done more than 5, but a number of times. Also, I have taught 2nd grade kindergarten, 4th and 5th grade music, and just a number of ed tech grad courses at a handful of places. There's a bunch of little squirrels going on right here. You can see one of those guys. I actually did just have a squirrel moment when I interrupted what I was saying to shout squirrel. But we'll roll with it. So this course, there's 4 LMSs, learning management systems. You will, and I think I have them memorized, Edmodo you will look at Canvas, you will look at Haiku, owned by PowerSchool, and then finally Google Classroom. So the 4 LMSs, it's actually the same Google Doc as an assignment, same rubric, same thing. So the idea is that you're comparing apples to apples. Let's pop into one more classroom, just to get an idea about kind of where I am and what I do as a tech director over at Hillbrook. So you'll notice that we have a lot of flexible furniture, and if you want to learn more about this and why we do this, feel free to reach out to me, and I'll just kind of anecdotally share this and that. Again, big TV, Apple TV hanging down, so that anyone can AirPlay from anywhere. We're 1-to-1 at this school. Turn these lights off. We were, depending on how you think about it, actually the first school on the planet to be 1-to-1 iPads. We piloted them the first fall they came out, and then immediately moved to adopting them for our entire middle school. We're K-8, our middle school is grades 5, 6, 7, and 8. We use Google Classroom for, I hesitate to call it our LMS, but in the context of what we're talking about, it is our LMS. We use a really small company that's really popular with independent schools called Whipple Hill. You may have heard of Blackbaud, not to be confused with Blackboard. Blackbaud. And they don't really integrate with anything. I would not consider that an LMS. That's an SIS, Student Information System. A lot of you might be using Aries for your SIS. And Whipple Hill gives us all those put together. So it gives us the schedule, the calendar, push pages for notification, kind of, an email listserv, kind of all of the above. But it is very much not a place where a teacher could say, here's the assignment, let's all work online in Whipple Hill. So we've switched to Google Classroom, and it took us a while to get there. When Google Classroom came out, it wasn't nearly as powerful as it is now. We meet face to face, you know, we have a beautiful campus. Take a look at this, right? This does not get old. Maybe I will even switch hands here. There we go, much better. We started off with something called eBackpack, which was one of the first kind of iPad-friendly LMSs. The idea was it's your digital backpack, and it never got good enough. So we had 2 years of kind of this awkward overlap of everything needs to be posted to Whipple Hill, but then you can also use Google Classroom to kind of keep track of what goes on. You can use eBackpack to kind of push and pull assignments to say, hey, here's the template. Now just Classroom's so much easier and it's free. eBackpack was not free, and it never got great. So we use that. I would consider things like Canvas to be a much more robust LMS than Classroom, but for what we do at our school, Classroom is just awesome. So there's one quick tour I want to give you. So our middle school students actually built this house. All the ones around us were built around World War II, because our students, we were a boarding school back in the day, realized that community was really important, which has not changed, right? And around World War II, we tended to be kind of closing in and not reaching out to other people. So to build community, our students actually got a loan from the bank and built these houses. So our middle school students actually built this. Take a look at this on the inside. Right? How cool is this? Wouldn't you like to be in a class like this? So one of the reasons that I'm walking around here, aside from just getting some steps in, is that I think it's so important to think of not just the LMS, and how do you post the About Me page, how do you post a rubric, how do you post an assignment, how do you collect the assignment, how do you upload a video of yourself or a photo of yourself, and all those things. All of those are important, and right, it's never just about the LMS. There's always the why. So kind of tangentially, so that this class doesn't get stuck in just the weeds or just in talking about understanding by design, we'll talk about kind of student choice, trends, technology, professional learning and growth, and all of those things, so that it's the LMS and something else. And I think that there's a lot of value in it. It gives context to what an LMS can do. Because by itself, all an LMS can do is, oh, there's a woodpecker up there. Look at that. Here's our tower. Wondering what that sound was. An LMS just is a way for educators to push out information, organize information, and get it back from students. And there's much more to teaching. There's a lot more exciting things to teaching than just that. So there you go. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We're gonna have a good time. This class is cool. It's definitely cool. It's simple by just having that same rubric, same assignment, same Google Doc for everything. And let me know if you have any other questions. Feel free to hop on down to week 1, and happy week 1.